Welcome back to The Impact of Fathers by Doc V.
I'm not up there at the 1%, 500,000 a year, or the 250,000 a year, that's 5%. I don't want to tell you where I'm at, but I'm doing all right, credit-wise, income-wise, and potential-wise. And I'm thankful to what my dad instilled in me. So now, what do? How do I take what I've learned and distribute it properly to our young people? How do I teach them how to move up Maslow's need hierarchy from physiological needs to self-esteem needs and self-actualization? There's no way a man is going to self-actualize if he doesn't know where he's going to sleep, if he doesn't know where he's going to eat, if he doesn't know if he's going to come home alive or not, or starve to death. These basic needs need to be satisfied before one can self-actualize. I have another story I would like to tell you. I'm going to tell you this now. I was in elementary school. Before we moved away from this area, I know we moved when I was 11 years old. So this had to happen before then. So I was 11, 9, or 10 years old, walking home with my book bag. I would see this white guy sitting on the bench across the street every day walking home. Every day I'd see him. Weeks went by, and finally this young man comes across the street and he said, "I'm tired of looking at your black so-and-so every day. I'm about to kick your blankety blank." I was scared, my heart was beating. I had my bag, I tried to run, and the bag was heavy. He cut me off and he's like, "Come on." So I put the bag down and I did the best I could. I tried to fight him and the boy was hitting me. Whap, whap, he caught me and I was trying to put my head down. I was swinging. I caught him a few times and he just shook it off and came back, whap, 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 busted me up. And he backed off. I grabbed my bag and I saw my dad pulling up, getting close to the house, pulling up the driveway. And I went up the driveway and I went and I was crying. My dad, "Boy, what's wrong with you?" I was like, Marty beat me up. And he was like, "Who's Marty?" And I was like, "That boy over there running across the street." And my dad looked at me and he said, "Get yourself in here right now." I was like, "What's going on?" My dad threw the book bag out of my hands, got his belt out, took his belt out like Zorro took out the sword and started wearing me out. Where? I was crying. I was like, "Dad, where? I already got whooped out in front of the street. My dad gonna beat me some more." He said, "Go to your room." So I'm in my room and I'm like, and I'm like, I might as well be dead. People beat me up in the street. Come home, my dad beat me too. Finally, my dad said, "Vaughn, come out here." My brothers and sisters, they were gone. Mom was gone. My dad said, "Come here." He said, my dad sat down in a chair and he put his hands up like this. He said, "The son, come up here." He said, "Punch my hands." So he said, "Punch my hands." So I hit his hands again. He said, "Boy, if you don't punch my hands as hard as you can, I'm going to take my belt and I'm going to beat you again." All of a sudden, I got to work. I was just punching, punching. He said, "Don't stop till I tell you to stop." Dad was catching my hand. He said, "Don't you miss, don't you stop." I just kept punching until I was exhausted and I just fell. And my dad caught me in his arms and he hugged me and he said, "Son," he said, "that's how you hit. That's how you fight." And he said, "I love you." Sorry, give me a moment. My dad said, "If you come to me again crying and say that boy whipped you again, I'm going to take my belt and I'm going to beat you again. Do you understand?" I said, "Yes, Dad. Yes, Dad." So I gave me dinner, I ate, wiped my tears up, got myself together. And I was like, this was a rough day. A rough day. So I didn't think of it. Went to school. Everything was fine. Didn't even think of it. And all of a sudden, I'm walking and I see the boy coming across the street again. And the boy said, "I'm going to beat your tail again." And all I could think about was my dad, Buford Shores, 6'3", 220 pounds. I said, oh boy. I got the bag down and I started going with it. It was like Thriller in Manila. It was like Ali and Joe Frazier. He hit me, whap, whap. I took it, came back, tied up, whap, 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 hit him back, boom, boom. He cut me a little bit I felt my lips swelling up, and I just kept going at him. Whap, 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 whap. Whap, 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 whap. He came at me. He was going to the body. I was trying to cover up, went to the head, boom. He caught me a few times. We just going. And all I could think about is, this whooping ain't as bad as the whooping Dad's going to give me if I go home again crying. So I stayed in there. Wham, 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 wham. All of a sudden, I caught the boy. Bam. The boy reeled back, and I was like, oh, and I went it again. Bam. Went it again. Bam. And the boy staggered across the street. I grabbed my book bag, grabbed my stuff, ran to the house, saw my brothers there. My dad was pulling up. He looked at me and said, everything all right? Everything fine? I said, yeah, everything's fine. Didn't say anything about it. He said, what's going on? I don't know if my dad saw it or not, but I didn't say anything. Anyway, got home, and I was like, whoa, whoa. Went in the mirror. Face was, I wasn't that pretty anyway, still ain't. And I was trying to get, myself together. And I said, whoa. So the next day, I went to school, had my chest out a little bit, felt a little bit different. The story's not over. I was walking home, maybe a couple days later, and I looked across the street, and there that boy was again across the street, sitting there. And I stopped with my bag, and I turned, and I just looked at him. And I was thinking, if he comes back across here again, we going again. We going again. I just looked at him. That boy just sat there. He just sat there looking at me. Just looking. And I looked at him. And I just looked at him. Then I turned and I went home. My dad did that for me. My dad did that for me. I love my dad. I didn't know what he was doing at the time, but I know what he was doing now. It's tough out here in these streets. We talking about Black Lives Matter, and then we going in the back of a store trying to steal clothes out of a store. We hitting somebody over the head trying to steal their money, their credit cards. We get a gun and we trying to rob a shop and take, what are we doing? Now, I'm not going to stay on the negative because we have some African-American males that are getting their college degree, they're getting training, they're getting jobs, and they're excelling and they're doing what they need to do. But as a whole demographic, we are hurting. We are suffering from the residuals of slavery. We're suffering from the residuals of Jim Crow laws, and we're suffering from the mentality of people thinking that, well, that's all they can do. Well, that's all we can do. Well, that's all they're about. And watch them because you know how they are. It's coming from both ends. Then we have parenting issues where parents can't handle that. Mom can't handle that young son, that 14, 15-year-old boy. He's bigger than mom. Son, you need to be doing it. He's looking at mom, please. He needs his father there. His father there to teach him and train him. We have too many single parent households where the mother's raising those boys and girls and she's doing the best she can, but after she feeds them and gets them clothes, they need some coping skills. They need to know how to conduct themselves. That's about it for today. I'm Doc V. Some people ask, well, why do they call you, Doc D? Do you have a doctorate? Yes, I do. I have a leadership doctorate. I have a doctorate in education, and the doctorate is titled Leadership, Curriculum, and Instruction. Before that, I earned a master's. Before that, I earned a bachelor's degree. And before that, I earned my diploma from high school. So I actually have 4 degrees. I defended my dissertation in 2018. My dissertation was called African American Males and Their Position on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And my point of focus is where we sit on Maslow's needs and why can't we move off of level 2 and we're stuck between level 2 and 3, the most of us. What is the problem? What can we do? I've got some life experiences, I've got some educational experiences, and I've got some love and support, and I've got the Word of God and the Spirit of God that's leading and guiding me to try to make an impact and try to make a difference to my young brothers that I see out here struggling. Statistically, and I'm not going to be before you much longer today. Georgia, that's where I live right now. The black population of Georgia is 29%, but the black prison population is 64%. Ohio is where I'm from. The black population in Ohio is 12%. The prison population is 52%. I could go on to 50 states. Let me jump around a little bit. Minnesota, 3% population of Minnesota's population is black. However, 37% of the prison population is black. I can't go through all of these, so let me jump around. Mississippi, 36% black. The prison population, black population, is 75%. Let's go to Tennessee. Tennessee is 16% black, 53% prison population is black. Michigan, 14 and 55. New York, 15% black, 15% black, and 51% prison population. I could go through the whole 50 states. And people are, when they see these statistics, they say, well, they're just bad. They're just unruly. We just can't control them. Something's wrong with their heads. No. Something's wrong with the path that we had to come through. We didn't get a fair start. We came from racism. We came from Jim Crow laws. We came from oppression. We came from discrimination. We came from lynchings, killings, shootings, mobbings. That's going to have effect on the people. And it wasn't but 150 years ago. And all I can say is, oh, 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 I'm Doc V, and I'll see you next time.